The Revenant is a film directed by Alejandro Inarritu. This film is based on true events, and it follows a frontiersman who is navigating the uncharted wilderness of what is now Montana and South Dakota, but in 1823. And that's all you need to know about this film for what I'm about to say in this video. Although The Revenant is a great film with its gripping suspense, interesting story, and underlying messages, I'm going to talk about a few specific decisions made for this film that, to me, enhance the film's ability to fully submerge the viewer in the feeling of the wild. The first decision that creates this submersive feeling in the wilderness was made between the director, Inarritu, and the cinematographer, Emanuel Lubezki. They decided that they were going to film with an Alexa 65 digital camera, which captures an incredibly clear image, about as close to real life as it can get. It does not have the subtle imperfections of traditional film. There is very little to no grain and none of those little specks that pop up all over the image. They wanted it to look as close to real life as it possibly could, which is why they also made the decision to only film in natural light. This means that they did not use any electrical light sources, only the sun and moon. They would occasionally use fire, but that is still natural after all. It's very difficult to only film in natural lighting, because in order for the story to maintain continuity, they would have to wait for the weather to be ideal so that it matches the scenes preceding it. And I'm truly glad that they made this decision because the end result is flawless. The film is considered to be one of the most beautifully shot films that there has ever been, which I'm sure is partially a result of the next decision that Inarritu made, which was to take the camera and the setting for a test drive. They were shooting in the middle of the wilderness in beautiful Alberta, Canada, and the southern tip of Argentina with an Alexa 65 digital camera, so naturally, they shot some nature. Throughout the film, there are little moments intercut between the main story that simply showcase the beauty of the locations that this movie was filmed in. These little moments of scenery are called B-roll. B-roll is a term for what is essentially secondary footage. If the primary footage, or A-roll, is what you would say happens in a movie, then B-roll would be anything that is not the primary focus, such as transitional shots or maybe an establishing shot of only the location. Something like that. It's not absolutely necessary for these things to be in a movie. There are plenty of films that cut right in the middle of two main events, and your brain is able to make the mental jump and decipher what's happening, even though the camera has not explicitly told you what's happening. B-roll is just another tool that a filmmaker can use to clarify or enhance their story. In the case of The Revenant, it seems that there's no direction. There's no focus. There's nothing that is trying to grab your attention during these little moments. They're just trying to show you stunning images of unadulterated nature. This may have been a planned decision or one that happened on set. It would have been very easy to shoot every scene that was actually necessary for the story, than to go back and simply cut in these little pieces of B-roll. I cannot say for sure, but I think that one of the reasons they decided to do this was not only to create a deeper feeling of submersion in the wilderness, but to also give room to breathe after many of the intense scenes in this film. I don't want to spoil it if you have not already seen it, but when I saw it in theaters, there were some scenes that had me tightening my grip with suspense, because the events happening looked and felt so real. Also, juxtaposing the intense scenes with the B-roll of pure serenity complements a main theme of the film, which is Glass's choices about the people close to him and those who have wronged him. And again, I think the reason that the film felt so real was because of an amalgamation of the decisions that I just mentioned, and of course other major factors such as convincing acting, good locations, costume design, camera movements, editing, etc. But of course those things go for basically every movie. The Revenant is certainly a movie to behold, and I wish that more directors and cinematographers would simply take the opportunity to capture incredible things when the moment presents itself, and to not be afraid to put those things in the final product, because if it's done well, and in the right context, it can serve to be a huge improvement. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. It simply tells me if people enjoy what I'm making, and it ultimately decides if I should keep making videos like this one. There's plenty to say about The Revenant, but I feel that most of it has already been said, so I just wanted to highlight this little thing that I always tend to think about whenever I think of The Revenant, because it actually had that much of an impact on my enjoyment of the film. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. My name is JD Thompson. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.